Curtain walls, curtain wall mullions. Okay, we're going to open up where we left off. 1003. Save as project. This will be 1004. Begin. Save as project. 1004 complete. And let's just update our project notes as well. Okay, so we're going to be editing curtain wall mullions. Good, so let's go to our phase 1. And then let's go to 3D views, 3D show complete. Spin around and zoom in. Okay, so we're going to talk about mullions more specifically. We did talk a little bit about them just in the overall style. So you can edit a type and you can choose which preset mullions are there. What you can also do here with mullions is if you go down to families, then I'm going to go to curtain wall mullions. Just double click on that. You'll notice here there's a variety of different mullions that you can choose from. We'll talk about the corner ones later, but right now we're just going to talk about this rectangular mullion. Now, what you can do is you can edit these and make different ones. So if I just right click on this square one, what I'll do is I'll duplicate it and we'll call this one, let's say silicone joint. Okay, so we'll double click on silicone joint and now let's make it a silicone joint. So what we can do is just starting from the top here, angle, that's fine. Let's just go with the thickness. So we'll go with maybe just like a 1/4 inch thick. Now that's actually the depth. So maybe we go, I think the panel was about 3/8. Yeah, we can make it as a 1/4. And then the width on either side, that's actually the width on either side of the profile. So if you make it 1/4 inch by a 1/4 inch, then it'll be a total of 1 inch. That maybe is a little bit much. Let's go with 1/8 and 1/8. Now the material is set to aluminum, and let's change that. Okay, so let's go down to glazing, and we're just going to alter this one a little bit. So here's the window glazing one. We'll just duplicate that, and I'm going to call this one glazing silicone. And if we just go into the appearance, we can find something that's going to match. Now, what I like to do usually is just look and see if there's anything. So I'll do a little search and we'll look and see if there's anything there available. I don't see any clear plastic available. Let's just try the word clear. Let's just go with that. But what we'll do is we'll bring down the reflectance quite a bit. And the sheet of glass thing, that's just going to be 1. Color, let's just do like a custom color. And we'll make it kind of this light sort of look here. Okay, and then we're just lowering down that reflectance. So that'll be good to start. We can always tweak that as we go. Shading, let's just use the render appearance for shading. And okay. Now that didn't actually do anything to our curtain wall here, so let's just click on it. So that's CW1. Let's edit the type and let's duplicate it and we'll call this one CW2. And as the joint, what we're going to use is instead of the 1 inch square, we're going to go with a silicone joint for both vertical and horizontal. So let's say okay to that. Okay, so now if you were to zoom up a little closer, I'm going to turn off thin lines, which is just right here. And there you can see there's our little piece of silicone right in the window. Now, if I swap this back with another one, let's say CW1, now our mullions are going to be back. What about mullions though, as far as deleting them, adding them? You can click on them. This one, because it's in a curtain wall type, you have to unpin it. So I could delete it, and then I could just go up to the mullion tool and then add another one. So if I wanted, something else, maybe the 1 inch square, or maybe there I wanted a silicone joint, I could just add that in. What about if you want to get your own custom profile as a curtain wall mullion? Well, you can do that. If I go to Insert, and then I go to Load Family, and then I go down to Profiles, and then I choose Curtain Wall, notice here that there's some sort of standard ones that you can start with. And if I go with, let's say, a center one, I'll just load that in. You have noticed just as I was loading it in the little preview box, there's quite a bit of detail on it. Most of the detail you see, it's not in the actual profile, it's in an embedded detail component inside of it. So where does that show up? Well, it actually shows up as a profile. It doesn't show up right here. If I were to just right click on 1-inch square rectangular mullion and duplicate it, we're going to call this one mullion 1. If I click on mullion 1, notice here under profile, and if I just drop that down, these are the other ones that got loaded in. So if I click on this one, there it is. Okay, so now we've got a mullion 1. It uses that profile I've just loaded in, and we say OK. Now you have to apply that to the window. So if I again click on this, and we're going to edit type, duplicate, and we'll call this one CW3. For the internal ones, we'll use this new mullion 1. Now this is going to be quite big, but it's just proving a point here that you can load in. Yeah, there it is there, quite large. You can load in these mullions. Now I'm going to just click on this, and there you can see it. Now it looks like just from that, from what I'm seeing there, it's possible that we actually had our curtain wall backwards. Let me undo that, and let's just quickly go up here to a top of foundation wall phase 1. Probably because I didn't draw that clockwise, I drew it this way. Let's just click on that. Yeah, that's backwards, so let's just flip it over. Do the same with that one. We'll flip that one over too, so that marker is on the outside. Now we're right. Now these are the mullions that we loaded in, and you'll notice that if I go to a fine level of detail, it activates this detail component which is embedded in that profile. Okay, but you can use coarse, you can use medium, and it's going to give you sort of a different look. Okay, let's go back over here to 3D Show Complete. I want to set this back to the CW1. And the other thing I want to do here is just tab through until I get to this mullion. There we go. And we're going to swap that back out for the 1-inch square. There we go. Okay, one last thing. Notice these little markers, you know what those are? If I click on them, they just extend out into the other mullion. They're just sort of deciding what takes priority. Let's just close hidden windows. We'll do a save and shut that down, and we're ready for our next lesson.